One Mr. Joe Biden, who's been running for president for the last 40 years, and at campaign stop in Ottawa, said he was going to, quote unquote, cure cancer. Welcome to the Soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. Guys, if you enjoy this content, you find yourself coming back to this channel often, please consider supporting this content. Liking, sharing, supporting through PayPal or Patreon, all of those things are helpful. Even $1 helps. They have been going after us with the demonetization stuff. Not to mention the nuking of some of the channels dealing with news. They can end these channels anytime they want at this point with the new rule set. Nevertheless, let's get to the news. This should be called Policing Biden. I gotta be honest, I have qualms, extreme qualms, hitting Joe Biden on this one. I've even brought my wife in and said, look, is there something wrong with hitting one Mr. Joe Biden on this point of curing cancer? If you remember, Joe Biden's son died of cancer. So this is somewhat close to Joe Biden making this. And people who are, under normal circumstances, extraordinary political animals tend to care about their kids, regardless of how they are as politicians. You don't believe me? Republicans tend to be doggedly against gay marriage. Well, one Mr. Dick Cheney is okay with gay marriage because his daughter is gay. Same thing with John McCain, who under normal circumstances is perfectly okay with all things of murder and slaughter and killing and everything else, but because he's been tortured, he is absolutely, completely, 100% against torture. They tend to be against the things that affect them, so I don't necessarily know why this would be different from one Mr. Joe Biden. But come on! Come on! This is so dramatically expensive. You're not even for Medicare for all. You're not even for Medicare for all. Even if I postulated that you could possibly cure cancer, you're not even for Medicare for all. What about the other people who don't have cancer? With other illnesses, diseases, things that plague them and bother them that they are being hounded for with regards to cost. Tens of thousands of Americans die each year. You can have all the access to healthcare you want. The issue here is not necessarily access to healthcare. The issue is will people forego that healthcare if they think they're going to get a bill? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. This screaming in a mic that you're going to cure cancer. By the way, he was mercilessly mocked immediately after this. Let's take a look. Joe Biden, the guy who's going to apparently, if he gets elected, I don't even think he's going to make it through the primaries, going to cure cancer.
So please welcome Vice President Joe Biden.
Hey folks, how are you? Hello, Tumwa. And y'all back there too, I'm sorry. Excuse my back, I apologize. I was told there are going to be 3 people here. No, I'm only joking.
You know, to be fair to Biden, he's affable. I've always thought Joe Biden was affable. And what I mean by affable, he's the type of guy that, yes, he will smell your wife's hair. Yes, you will be uncomfortably close to the women in your family and even to your, to maybe even your grandma. By the same token, he can go into a room and you can actually think that he's a person. He's an affable guy. Now, he's a corporate toady, but he's still an affable corporate toady, which is more that you could say for Clinton. Just saying. Let's hear him out. Let's hear him cure cancer.
Thank you very much. Hello, Greenpeace. How are you? By the way, you got that number wrong, but that's okay. That's okay. Hey, first of all, thank you very much, Representative, for being here. And, a lot of you understand that what loss is, and when loss occurs, that people come up to you and tell you, I understand if you lose a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, a family member, and lots of times you feel like saying, they say, I know how you feel, and if they hadn't, you look at them, they mean well, but you say, you have no idea how I feel. But when it happens to you, That's why I've worked so hard in my career to make sure that I promise you, if I'm elected president, you're going to see the single most important thing that changes in America is we're going to cure cancer. You think but that's another issue. We got a lot of great people here, a lot of great. Well, what I'm going to do is.
I love his reaction to it because he's like, "You think I'm joking?" He had already set up, "You think I'm joking?" But he couldn't get it out because the audience was applauding. And like most people, when you're engaging the audience and they start applauding, leave it. I think he thought that they were going to be incredulous about it, like I am, absolutely, completely, entirely incredulous. But I didn't waste my gas money going to a Joe Biden rally. They did. So they're already in the bag for him on this particular front, and they don't necessarily care about the fact that Joe Biden is full of it when he says he's going to cure cancer. The Greenpeace activist back there, who's probably holding a sign talking about how much oil or something that their administration pushed through, or how weak he is on this particular front. And this guy, who's a Trump supporter, apparently got him to say, "How are you going to do it?" Which is my question. How are you going to do it? Are you going to dump a bunch of money into corporations? That's not what I want. That's not what I want. It's not that I think it's impossible to cure cancer. I don't think that at all. Do I believe Joe Biden is going to do it? No. No, I do not. The guy who's not even for Medicare for all. I want to make this point again. Whether you're going to try to dump money into curing cancer or not, one of the best ways that you could do you realize tens of thousands of people die, even with Obamacare, tens of thousands of people die every year without access to health care. Joe Biden saying he's going to cure cancer is nice, but there are plenty of other medical illnesses, issues, diseases that deserve attention. And Medicare for all, at the very least, would allow for people to get the attention they need for healthcare and not limit their healthcare. Meaning, the person who has diabetes who says, "I'm going to cut my insulin because it's too expensive." The person who has a medical illness that they don't even know what it is, like my wife, who says, "I'm not going to go for this other procedure because that last procedure was so expensive." Imagine what this does. The guy who says, "I'm not going to go for this particular doctor's appointment because I have to choose between healthcare and food." Joe Biden screaming that he's going to cure cancer for political gain is one thing. Joe Biden getting on board for Medicare for all that's going to support the rest of the population in their medical ills and ailments, that's an entirely different matter. Give me the second. Second is tangible. The first sounds like a campaign pledge. The second is tangible. The second is doable. The first, again, sounds like pandering. I'm just saying, do I believe the guy that's not for Medicare for all is going to cure cancer? No, I don't. I do not. 1,000 times. I do not. This is pandering. Why not cure cancer now? Desperate, evil liar. Desperate, evil liar. Touche. Kills for a living. Biggest. That's the last one. Come on. Give me the most recent. I don't believe this. This is pandering. But by the same token, my qualms for doing this story is because Joe Biden's son died of cancer. If you remember, his son died of recurrent brain cancer. I want to say at Walter Reed Hospital, but I don't necessarily want to. Bethesda Medical Center. I'm sorry. Well, I was right. Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. May 3rd, 2015. So it's not like that I think this doesn't hit Biden. I think it does hit Biden because his kid. But my perspective is different. I feel bad for your kid, but come on. Joe Biden cured my cold, Jamarl. When he announced he was running for president, he called me to the stage, pushed me to the ground. Then I shook, got up, bam, cold gone, never doubt rapist Uncle Joe. Oh, nobody called him a rapist. That's wrong. A groper, maybe. A hair smeller, maybe. Too close, totally. Joe Biden just told billionaires no one's standard of living will change if he is elected. I just heard this off of Status Quo. He's not being honest. Hell no, he's not being honest. Why would you believe he's being honest? It's Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the one that told kids to get over it. Come on. This is the guy that's perfectly okay with military interventions, that was okay with the destruction of Libya, okay with the destruction of Iraq. This guy is not to be believed. He's doing whatever he can to get elected. Just saying. I'll end this here. I don't want to go long, and I have multiple shows that I want to do for today. Guys, the lighting is a little weird. My light blew up on me. I have another one that's coming in the mail today. At the very least, it should be in today. In the meantime, I have this kind of makeshift light. So I will see you guys momentarily. Give me about 10 minutes to go to the next show. I have a slate. I saw this, though, and I thought this was awesome. I put the entire video at the bottom. Again, if you're not for Medicare for all, don't tell me about curing cancer. And you may say those are two separate issues. Maybe, fair enough. But there are all sorts of medical issues that people deal with on a daily basis across the country. And there are some people who are seriously working in the interest of dealing with cancer research and everything else. And I think you should dump all the money at all in the world. It's set up in $1 trillion in regards to military. You should be dumping into things that human beings need. Health extension, life extension, those should be priorities of our government. I absolutely agree. Do I believe Joe Biden would do it? No. No, I don't. Is Medicare for all a solid thing that would positively affect the rest of the people in this country? That answer is yes, 1,000 times yes. And if you're not on board for it, don't tell me about curing cancer. I'll end this here. If you guys enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and you can always support the PayPal or Patreon. I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Thanks all. And the same.